Fellas, we gotta talk. A lot of men seem to think that Donald Trump is some kind of tough guy. He's not. I mean, look at him. He wears more makeup than Dolly Parton.
Smart people don't like me, you know, and they don't like what we talk about, but he's become radicalized. So many things have been learned about him so quickly. He's become totally radicalized and crazy, and it must have been traumatic because the parents are conservative.
If you thought this was going to be just another routine celebrity commentary moment, that expectation disappeared the second Dave Bautista stepped into the spotlight. What unfolded alongside Jimmy Kimmel was not simple criticism, but something that felt more like a direct verbal strike aimed straight at Donald Trump. The internet reacted instantly, but the real twist comes when you actually listen closely to what was said. Beneath the laughter and applause, there was a sense that something deeper was being hinted at, as if the jokes were only touching the surface of a much bigger message.
No matter if the strait is open or not, he'll just say it's open, it's open. Same way he did with the riots in LA that never happened, or the imaginary water valve he opened to put out the fires. He'll put it on his vision board and will it to be.
This is the best, they say, 100-day start of any president in history. My taxation and tariff policies, which are policies of common sense. We get along with China. They want to make a deal, and it's going to be a fair deal. I have a Fed person who's not really doing a good job.
Before we go any further, take a moment to like and subscribe, because this is not something you want to miss. It started like any typical night of celebrity commentary, the kind people scroll past without much attention. But then something unexpected slipped into the conversation, and the entire mood in the room shifted, turning what felt casual into something noticeably more serious.
Saying, you know, with the scriptures, saying that, like, you know, basically the scripture that he quoted said, you know, gay people should be stoned to death.
So my opinion on that is the idiot. Mom happens to be a lesbian, so I don't think that. I don't think it's funny. I feel like this: if anyone called my mother an animal, I'd stick my foot in his.
Would you want to, you know, teach Manny a lesson?
No, I mean, you know, that's his opinion. That's his opinion, but I'm just saying.
When a late-night stage known for humor suddenly starts to feel like a courtroom, and a Hollywood action star known for physical roles begins breaking down political narratives, it becomes clear that something in the atmosphere has changed. The tone no longer feels like entertainment alone, but something far more direct and intense.
The days we woke up to this. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. I believe that's a letter from Paul to the Corinthians. You know, we've heard the word unhinged a lot this.
Somewhere between the jokes and side remarks, certain names kept coming up repeatedly, especially Donald Trump. What started as light entertainment slowly began to feel like a public confrontation, wrapped in humor, but carrying a sharper edge underneath.
Birds. Donald Trump had his daddy pay a doctor to say his Will feet hurt so he could dodge the draft. Look at that gut, like a garbage bag full of buttermilk. He sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman. Guy's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella. I mean, look how he drinks water. Like a little.
Just when it seemed like every type of celebrity reaction to politics had already been seen, Jimmy Kimmel and Dave Bautista approached the same situation from completely different angles. Neither appeared interested in staying neutral, which made the moment even more compelling. Kimmel has built his reputation on turning uncomfortable political moments into humor that sits between laughter and disbelief, while Bautista brought a completely different kind of energy, making the exchange feel less like comedy and more like a reflection of growing tension.
It's funny, you know, as connected as we all are now with the internet and Etsy and whatnot, and we really don't know what's going on in other parts of the world. For instance, any of you ever been to the Strait of Hormuz? You should check it out. You'd love it. We used to summer there when I was a boy, but this war we are in, for reasons known only to Donald Trump, hinges now on Iran reopening the Strait of Hormuz, which for the record was open before he started.
What makes this situation stand out is not just the criticism, but how differently it is delivered. One side relies on timing, satire, and audience reaction, while the other feels more direct and instinctive. Kimmel's approach reflects a shift in late-night television, where humor and political frustration are becoming harder to separate, while Bautista's reaction feels like someone stepping outside their usual role because the situation feels too significant to ignore.
Like Dolly Parton. He cheats at golf. He creeps around beauty pageant dressing rooms. You know that little dance he does? He looks like he's jacking off a pair of giraffes. He's moody, he pouts, he throws tantrums.
No, get those lights off!
He acts like a 5-year-old behind the wheel of a truck. He bends over for Putin. He's cattier on social media than a middle school bean.
This is where public curiosity begins to grow, not because something entirely new is being said, but because the voices involved are unexpected. The reaction cycle follows quickly. Clips spread, headlines stretch the narrative, and social media turns brief moments into larger debates. Beneath all that, the real question becomes why voices from entertainment still carry so much influence when discussing political figures like Donald Trump.
Just want you to imagine, let me set the scene, okay? You're finishing your Easter brunch, cleaning up, the kids are running out to the yard to find jelly beans, and suddenly your 79-year-old grandpa stands up and he yells, "Open the strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah." You'd put him in the car and drive him straight to the emergency room, right? I mean, the whole family.
The tension increases when humor becomes part of the message. Humor has the ability to soften delivery while making meaning sharper at the same time. Kimmel's strength lies in knowing when to turn a moment into something relatable, even if the subject itself is divisive. What keeps audiences engaged is not agreement, but unpredictability, especially in an environment where most reactions feel controlled or rehearsed.
I was a part of a team of a person I considered a friend and someone I really looked up to. And then he later came out publicly with some anti-gay statements and turned out to be an extreme homophobe. And so I had a huge issue with it. It's a personal issue with me. My mom's a lesbian, and I just could no longer call him a friend, and so I had it covered up with...
Talk about his abortion. That's all they talk about. And it really no longer pertains because we've done something on abortion that nobody...
There was a time when entertainers were expected to entertain, and politicians were expected to govern. But those boundaries have gradually blurred. That overlap allows a late-night host and an action star to become connected through the same political conversation. As that overlap grows, so does the intensity of public reaction, where the same statement can be seen as bold honesty or unnecessary involvement, depending on perspective.
Now, either is open or is not open. We don't know. We agreed to a ceasefire if and only if they reopen the strait. It appeared to be open briefly, but then Iran closed it because Israel kept attacking Lebanon. And now, even though it is allegedly open, there are no ships going through it. Basically, after all this, he got us constipation. And only a handful of ships have been allowed to pass through the strait. Yesterday, Trump floated the idea of a grand reopening / joint business venture with the people he's bombing, where we would split.
Bautista's presence adds another layer to the conversation because it feels unexpected. He is not typically part of political debates, which makes his comments stand out even more. Meanwhile, Trump remains at the center of the discussion, not just as a subject, but as a figure that continues to drive attention and keep the narrative moving.
Throwing his hat in the ring a little bit too.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think it's
I don't think I don't know for sure. I haven't spoken to him about this. I haven't heard him talk politics or presidential race. But, I've heard it mentioned to me a couple times as kind of a joke. I thought it was a joke anyway. But he'd make a much better president than Donald Trump. But I've said that before. Because he's a smart.
In this kind of environment, even silence becomes noticeable. Choosing not to speak can feel like its own statement, raising questions about when commentary shifts from observation to participation. This creates a situation where every reaction feeds the next, turning a late-night stage into a space where humor, frustration, and commentary blend together.
Later, he posted again an ultimatum. He wrote, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. He's the only president who teases a bombing the same way ABC promotes new episodes of Will Trent. And then today, he changed that deadline. He said Iran could be taken out by midnight tomorrow, but he didn't specify if that's our tomorrow or their tomorrow. We could start a World War III over a time zone error.
Jimmy Kimmel remains relevant in this space because his approach is not about delivering news directly, but about framing moments in a way that allows the audience to both laugh and reflect. As the focus continues to return to Donald Trump, the repetition builds meaning over time, turning individual moments into part of a larger ongoing narrative.
So you were recently talking about The Rock possibly being a good president. Do you think he might enter the race?
That wasn't, I didn't just come out and say, hey, I think The Rock would make a great president. I think I was asked, for what I thought. I think I said that I think he'd be a better president than our current president. I think I said he was much more qualified, and I believe he is. I believe Kimmel is. I could believe I am.
Bautista, on the other hand, brings a different kind of perspective. Without a structured monologue or comedic layer, his comments feel more direct and less filtered. This contrast becomes more noticeable when both voices exist within the same broader conversation, even if they approach it from completely different angles.
Inside the White House, it was very cold because President Trump met with the Prime Minister of Japan today. Now, Trump is hoping Japan will offer military assistance for his war in the Middle East, but instead the Prime Minister brought him 250 cherry trees to commemorate our 250th anniversary. This is a guy who paved over the Rose Gardens. What is he going to do with 250 cherry trees? He'll probably use them to build a Waffle House or something, but Trump very much wants Japan to support his...
A simple comment made outside a scripted setting can be interpreted in multiple ways, depending on the audience. What feels honest to one group may feel careless to another. As these interpretations spread, meaning shifts, and public figures find it harder to remain neutral without being drawn into ongoing debates.
Downhill. Almost there, Grandma. This November, let's stop kidding ourselves. Donald Trump is afraid of rain, of dogs, of windmills, Merle Streep, and being laughed at.
Isn't it past your jail time?
And mostly, he's terrified that real red-blooded American men will find out that he's a weak.
Kimmel's role shows how humor can function as both commentary and reflection, allowing people to process frustration without direct confrontation. Bautista's involvement shows how individuals outside traditional commentary can still become part of larger conversations simply by reacting to what they see. Meanwhile, Trump continues to remain central to this cycle, influencing how discussions evolve.
Today, the president and the first lady presided over the annual White House Easter egg roll. This is a tradition that dates back to 1878. And what you're about to see, even though we did not have video back when Rutherford B. Hayes was running the show, I have to believe that this would rank among, if not at the top, of the most preposterous moments in White House Easter egg roll history.
They were giving me a briefing about that, and they said normally when you're in very hostile territory, and I don't think it gets much more.
This is not about reaching a final conclusion, but about adding another layer to an ongoing conversation that continues to grow across media platforms. It highlights a reality where nothing remains just a joke or a single opinion, and where context often becomes secondary as messages spread and evolve beyond their original moment.
Human being, which I don't believe Trump is. And I also think that Dwayne is very patriotic. I think he loves his country. He'd do what's best for his country. Again, I don't think Trump is a patriot by any means. I think once Trump is out of office, I think things are going to tighten up, and the NRA won't have so much, say in what we do. I hope. I hope. But who knows? I mean, I'm also one of those people who said that, Trump, no fucking way is he ever going to be president of the United States.
The same dynamic applies to Bautista in a different way. His direct style leaves less room for interpretation, yet often triggers stronger reactions because it feels more genuine. Trump remains at the center of this entire cycle, not just as a subject, but as a force that keeps the conversation active. And that may be the real takeaway, that it is no longer just about what was said, but about how quickly a single moment can grow into something much larger, where entertainment, politics, and public perception collide and continue to evolve.
I asked her today to send us a Godzilla, and she said no. We often cringe when real leaders come to visit ours, but today I think we hit a new level of discomfort as FDRBs answered a reporter from Japan in an absolutely astonishing way.
Why didn't you tell US allies about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. When we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody